All right, so welcome biology class. Great to see all of you guys here. I'm excited to see you guys. Hopefully you guys have been having a nice little break, but I know we're kind of getting into it a little bit. Hopefully the homework that we had assigned wasn't too difficult for you guys, so I want to just make sure that you guys did fill that out. We're going to go over those answers. Some of you may have seen that I already put hundreds for you if you did complete it. I did check through to make sure it was all okay. So we're going to go ahead and go through that at this time. If you have that available, that might be good for you guys to have right there so that if I call on you guys, that I may have the answers available. However, we've been talking about chapter 19 here. So we're going to be going into our questions here that we're going to go over. This is actually due at 3 o'clock today. So make sure you guys do have that finished so that you guys are all set, ready to go. Number one, interesting fact, what is the scientific name for a king cobra? Can someone raise their hand and tell me that for me, please? All right, so it looks like Daniel will unmute you here. Hold on. There we go. There you go. Very true. That's exactly right. Very good. That was kind of interesting. Good for us to kind of know as well. There we go. All right. And number two, write down two interesting things you did over spring break. Who would like to tell me two things you guys did over spring break? Someone other than Daniel, because he did just answer. We're going to have to choose someone real quick here. How about Abby? Let's have you. What did you do over spring break? All right, very good. Awesome. Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. A lot of you guys submitted a lot of information about that. I want to say thank you for doing that. It looked like you guys, most of you were eating, sleeping. I had a student also who was working out, so being very vigilant with that, so very good. Someone had a birthday, I believe, also, which I think was Elizabeth, so make sure you say happy birthday to her. Not sure what day that was on, but she was quarantined, unfortunately, but she's still here surviving, so good to see Elizabeth here. All right, so we need to continue here. Number four, some characteristics of a fish. Let's kind of knock this out here. Four characteristics of a fish. How about James? Could you help us out with that? There you go. Very good. So we're most likely going to see fish that are in those environments, such as water dwelling. They're going to have gills as well as scales, and they're going to have a backbone. And also, probably the biggest one, they're going to be cold-blooded as well. So we need to continue. How about number 9 through 11? What habitat can fish be located? Can someone help me with that one? How about Janice? Where can fish be located here? Very good. That's true. So we have different environments that you can actually see fish. Of course, maybe some of you have gone to an aquarium and have seen the different exhibits. They will usually have a freshwater area, then also a marine area, and then sometimes they might have. Actually, sometimes if they have fish that can go in both, we'll just put one of those in a certain environment, such as keep saying this salmon. They put those in probably just freshwater. Eventually they can move it over to saltwater, but they'll probably just keep it like that. Homework. So this was pretty much your homework. What does a seahorse not have that a regular fish do? What would that be? How about, let's have Venetius. What do you think? I'm going to unmute you here. Or, there we go. There you go. A caudal fin. There you go. That's exactly right. So that is pretty much the back portion of the fish. It's pretty much used for really getting some traction, I guess you could say, going through the water. So very important for them as well. Number 2, what is the world's largest fish? What would that be? How about Elizabeth? A whale shark. Yes, that is true. A whale shark. If you've ever seen a picture of those, they are pretty big. I think they actually didn't have a picture in the book for you, unfortunately. But yes, those are massive Fish. Of course, we also have opposites wherever you go in science. So usually, what is the smallest fish? This one might be kind of long to pronounce. Can anyone be brave enough to share us what this one is? We'll go back to Daniel. Here we go, Daniel. There you go. That's exactly right. The Pseudocyprus progentica. There you go. So that's exactly right. Very good. Make sure you write in all those answers or type in those answers. Make sure I have the ability to see those answers so that you can get some credit for that as well. So pretty much we have gone through the introduction of the fish, and now we need to go to 19.1. If you guys are able to go to ThinkWave and download the worksheet that we have for us today, that should be there. I made sure before we started the class that it was actually there so that we're not really wasting time, but we're getting through all the information that we need. So it's pages, looks like 389 to 390. So yep, it is on there on ThinkWave, so go ahead and take a look at that. Make sure you, or what you can do is just press on it, open it, or even on, as you have it open to your screen, you can write the answers down as we go through this. So number one, what are scientists who study fish? Well, that would be ichthyologists. So maybe some of you have your book, maybe some of you don't. I'll go ahead and write that on our board for us today. So ichthyologists, kind of a funny name, I-C-H-E-Y. Hopefully you guys can see that. As we do continue with our class period for today, does anyone have any questions before we are starting? Any questions at all? I don't want you guys to be confused at all. Okay, fantastic. So ichthyologist, kind of interesting because if you've ever smelt really smelly fish, it's kind of like, ugh, ugh. It's really gross. So hopefully that kind of helps you realize what ichthyologists are. They really, since fish, they really smell bad. You don't really want to smell them. They smell. If you have them out for a short period of time, they can smell bad very quickly. So ichthyologists, hopefully you guys remember that as well. As we're going through our study here, first of all, we're going to be talking about the bony fish. Now, something interesting about the bony fish is that their skeleton is partially or wholly made of actual bone. So kind of interesting. If you have ever had fish before and had bones in their meat, and that's probably not the best thing when we eat fish. We want to take all those bones out. But sometimes that can happen, especially with trout. But when we do that, they have bones in them. Not only that, in their kind of endoskeletal structure, but also in their fins. If you see on the top of page 390, we see a yellow perch there. You can see that those are spiny dorsal fins on the very top portion of the fish. When you see that, they are mostly made out of bone as well. I also want to draw your attention to the lionfish. The lionfish has a ton of thorns on it, and they are poisonous. We covered that yesterday. Hope you guys remember that as well. But not only that, fish are actually probably the most nutritious animal to eat, pretty much. And if you think about eating animals, it's always the muscles. What are the muscles, and what are they made of that make it very nutritious? So first of all, fish are very nutritious because they have vitamin A, vitamin D. They also have vitamin E in them, so that's good for your skin. That's good for your hair, your metabolism. You need those vitamins in order to stay healthy as well. Not only that, they actually, number two, have essential fatty acids. So this is kind of interesting because when you think about fats, almost, I guess you can say, we have good fats and then we have bad fats. So if you think about some bad fats, such as, trying to think about my health class, because we went over this in health class. If we have cinnamon rolls, those have really probably bad fats that aren't the best for you because your body takes a long time to digest those types of fats. However, you can actually get good fats. Avocados are actually very good essential fatty acids for you that you can eat. You also have tuna. Tuna is actually a great thing also, since it is a fish. That's going to have the essential fatty acids as well. Not only that, probably one of the largest type of mineral that you can have while eating fish is iodine. So iodine is also one of our periodic table of elements, and it's very important for us because we need nutrition. We need trace elements. There you go. We need trace elements that we eat in order to live a healthy lifestyle. The idea here is that our body actually uses different minerals. Calcium for our bones. What other minerals do we have here? We have folic acid. All of these different ideas here regarding some enzymes that are very beneficial for us. However, since we only need these types of elements, we don't need a lot of the elements in our bodies because they only use a certain amount, but our body does use that. We need to make sure that we are replenishing that. Iodine is good for your thyroid. If you are deficient in your thyroid or iodine, you're going to have problems with your thyroid, such as your metabolism. That's pretty much what it most likely deals with. Kind of an interesting idea with fish, especially with their respiratory system, is when they breathe. What are some of the ways in which they breathe? And we're going to get that probably, or understand that probably in actually a couple more days. But number 4 on your worksheet says, what helps protect the delicate gills from being damaged? And that would be the operculum. If any of you guys have been fishing before, that is one of the things in which it's almost like a flap on the side of the fish. Hopefully when we dissected our fish, you guys actually saw that. And if you open that operculum, you're going to actually, I guess you should say opercula, if you do that, you're going to see those gills. Those gills are very delicate. They're there in order to have that gas exchange. And we're going to go into a little bit of a study about the gills because they are a very interesting idea as well. Not only that, trying to get fluid, trying to get water inside of the mouth for the fish sometimes isn't enough for it to breathe. So what it actually has is nostrils, which is kind of weird. You think about, well, you know, if we have fish and they have nostrils, well, that you kind of think, well, wouldn't that be good for like respiration? Well, that's not necessarily true completely. What it does is those nostrils are actually aiding in the process of taking in water. Not only is their mouth open, taking in the water and going over past the gills, but you have the nostrils there too that are able to help it breathe. That water is able to get into their nostrils. More water equals more oxygen. So that is definitely one of the benefits or even the purposes of the fish's nostrils as well. Not only that, I want to draw your attention to page 390. Hopefully you have that. But what we have there is a fish. And it's very important to understand some of the characteristics of the fish that we see here. First of all, we kind of need to understand what are the different fins. This is very important because a lot of students don't really understand this very well. So we're actually going to go through it for you guys. So first of all, this section is, I had number 6 right here, draw and label. You need to have the drawing and the labeling of a fish that includes the fins as well as the body regions. So let's go ahead and do that right now since we have a little bit of time for you guys. I tried to make my own fish here. Might be kind of oblong, I guess you could say, but we'll make do with it. All right, so we have this right here. I kind of suggest for you guys, I was drawing this earlier and I kind of messed it up a lot. Hopefully you guys are able to see that. So the idea here is I would suggest for the fins, just drawing kind of this structure right here, just having them just go straight out. If you start doing something like, hope you guys can see this over here. If you guys start drawing something like this, it's going to have like a spiky tail and it's going to look kind of weird. So I would just suggest putting the tail like this, just to help you guys out a little bit. I might need to draw my fish a little bit bigger here so that you guys can see. I really like that fish, but that's okay. We'll draw a new one here. Let's see. All right, there we go. So here's the mouth. The mandible, the lower jaw section of the fish, is a little bit smaller. So I'll make it a little bit smaller here. And then here's the upper part of the mouth here. Almost kind of all right, so we have this right here. This is a huge fish. Okay. All right. Okay. Okay, it does fit in the screen, so here we go. Here's our tail. Now, of course, we should already pretty much know what this tail is or what this fin is of this fish. Because someone, I think they can unmute themselves, or maybe I might have to unmute you guys. What is the fish, or what fin is this? I'm trying to point right here. What is that? All right, so Daniel, yes, Daniel? One more time, Daniel. There you go, the caudal fin. Very good. So I'll go ahead and write this. Hopefully I can write it. The caudal, so C-A-U-D-A. Very good. All right, so let's go along the backside of the fish that you can see here. So first of all, here's our next fin that we have right here. We see a lot of this, of course, in sharks. We've already talked a little bit about sharks. When we identify those, they're going to have that dorsal fin, that extra dorsal fin as well. So this, obviously, I was going to ask one of you guys, what is this? But it's a dorsal fin. So I'm going to kind of give you guys an here. So dorsal. Here's our dorsal fin, and sometimes you're going to see, even in our picture, in the figure in our book, actually has a soft dorsal fin, which I think the mollies with the fish that I have in my room actually have a soft dorsal fin. I'll have to look at that to make sure that is. All right, so here we go. So our next fin, let's kind of go to the very front portion of the fish that I can have here. Here's my eye. That's scary, but we'll do with it here. All right, so here's our next fin that we have right here. This one's going to be right here. So right behind the eye, you're going to see this fin right here. If you look on page 290, there is the fin that is labeled there. Can someone raise their hand and tell me what fin that is? Looks like we have Andrew. Pectoral fin, yes, very good. So if you guys remember when we talked about our muscles, our pectoral muscles, well, not really about the physiology about it, but our pectoral muscles for us humans are used to make our arms go in pretty much and also go out as well. So kind of think about that a little bit for our fish right here. This is going to be our pectoral fin. Here's our pectoral fin. There we go. All right. And then we'll continue now lower. So if you think about our pectoral muscles, but below that, we do have our pelvis. And in that area, we're going to see for our fish, we're going to have our pelvic fins that we have here. So here's our next one. Here's our pelvic fins. So this one I'll make a little bit larger here. You have to do a little bit of drawing today. That's kind of why I put on our paper here. All right, so this is our pelvic fin that we see here. Very good. All right, so there's our pelvic fin. I'm trying to look on my Zoom. Hopefully that is big enough and labeled correctly. Very good. All right, and then we finally have one of our last fins that we have here. This is going to be our anal fin, of course. So kind of some interesting ideas about this is that most of the time, especially when you looked at our mollies, some of my students actually wanted to know which ones were male and female. And that anal fin would actually tell me if it was male and female. So kind of interesting, kind of cool, actually. If you think about this fish right here, I would actually say this one is female because it does have the anal fin a little bit wider. That's just characteristic of a fish that we see here. So here's the deal. That is pretty much, actually, hold on, we're forgetting some things. Does anyone know what we're forgetting? Daniel? He does not know. Anyone? All right, Andrew. Not quite. Elizabeth? The body regions. Very good. Excellent. So we have here the body regions. We need to make sure we get that here. I might try a different color. I don't know if you guys can see that. So first of all, what are the 3 body regions of a fish? Someone raise their hand and tell me. Venetius? There you go. Exactly right. So the head portion. Here we go. This is our head portion of our fish. Hopefully it's going low enough. There we go. So this is the head portion. A little far on that one right there. So here's the head of the fish. Maybe some of you who like the delicacy of some Asian cultures, I know a lot of them eat the fish head. Has anyone ever eaten a fish head before, or any fish head stew? Everyone's saying no. Okay, all right, maybe not then. Well, maybe you guys have actually eaten this before, part of the trunk. All right, so for the trunk of the fish, this is obviously going to be our largest. I think that's how you spell trunk. Yeah, there we go. All right, and so this is going to be the largest portion. This is where we're going to find the meat, of course, the majority of the meat, as well as its organs. We're going to have our lateral line in that area as well. But then we finally have our last one, which is our tail, the big portion here. It really helps the fish get through the water quickly. It's pretty amazing to see if you've ever seen whales before, or even sharks in the ocean, how they just wave their tail going through the ocean. But if they need to get somewhere, man, they're really moving that tail and trying to move in the water. So pretty cool to see. You have homework. You have 1, 2, 3. I would love to go over those, but that is your homework that you have for tonight. As of now, that is it for our class today. So if you guys have any questions, stay on the line. If you don't, we'll see you guys later. See you guys tomorrow. So, yes, Elizabeth. One, two, three. Homework is 1, 2, 3 on it, right there. On that same sheet of paper. No, we already did that one in class. At the very, yeah, there you go. At the very bottom of our worksheet. It's right there. All right, we'll see you later. Anyone else? Any questions? We're slowly escaping. Jared? Do you guys have like a phone or an iPad or something? Okay. Okay. What you can do is go ahead and take a picture of that and send it, which I think your dad has my number. So if you can just do that, I'll check it out, and then we could be all set. Sound good? You could do that, but I think we're supposed to be doing like some social distancing, I think, or something like that. So I would suggest that, but I can't see your face. So I'm sorry. All right. All right, we'll see you guys later. Janice, you have any questions? Janice is not. Yep, we'll see you, John. Daniel and James, any question? Nope. Daniel, we're out, Daniel? Yes, what's your question? So if you have like any questions or like need any help or something, you can go on the channel here. I'll be up here in my classroom, and then you can just ask me a question right there. Like, I didn't get something uploaded or something, and I need help or something like that. But you don't have to be there. It is just something there to help you out. We'll see you later, right?